So thanks, Tom. Just building on what's already been said, I think 4 principal points. I think what we've seen here today is there's a wealth of work already done. And I think from the presentations in the first session, but also within the 4th session from the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and WHO, we really need to sit down and examine some of these initiatives in more detail. Look at the experience of the INN, the expert committee reviews, the standards development processes, and begin to characterize them in terms of not only what they've achieved, but also where they're going. So I think, I have to say, Steve, that your final comment at the end of our session was like a brick dropping, because if we are, whatever it is, 150 years on, and we haven't achieved the harmonization in such a basic thing in that area, the fear is that if we don't really come together and address these issues, 150 years from now, we'll be sitting back here discussing harmonization in the pharmaceutical sector. So I think we really need to look to history, look to the experiences, and really try and learn from them. Secondly, establish the linkages. We have all these initiatives. We need to really begin to map strategically what are the linkages between them. Not only in terms of the secretariats, but also in terms of the countries. And I take on board, for example, PANDRA with APEC in our area, when we've got actually common countries participating in there. So we as an organization also need to begin to look how we bridge those linkages and link in them with the work of the secretariats in WHO. Establish the rationale. I think the rationale, a very clear rationale, has been made. I think that rationale globally is there, but we need to bring that rationale back to some countries. I refer to perhaps the coalition of the willing. In order to harmonize, you need to have the political buy-in of member states. So if we don't have that, why don't we have that? And how can we build that? How can we use some of these kind of the business models, what you mentioned just a minute ago, Steve, the economic analysis to bring to bear and to support the development of these mechanisms. Capacity building versus harmonization, another issue. What should we focus on? Should we focus on the strategic development of regulatory networks, capacity building, or harmonization? Maybe they're not mutually exclusive, of course, but I think depending on where we are in the world and what kind of economies we're dealing with, there is a different argument to be made in which way we should go. And finally, what is the process? Are we looking towards harmonized processes in the implementation of harmonized norms? Should we define a common process, a bit what Hans was saying? Should we define a consensus around what the process is to get there? And of course, everybody can move within the realm of that process to get to that end point. But looking at the needs of the countries in terms of regulatory systems, developing the regulatory networks, pooling regulatory resources and work sharing, building convergence processes around reference NRAs, and finally adopting and implementing harmonized norms. So we need to find some pathway in which we all move jointly to achieve this common goal.
Thank you very much, James. And our last panelist to talk about the themes from their panel is Mike Brennan, who is the Senior Advisor for Global Affairs